Okay, let me put it this way. China has been growing very strongly since the 80s, let's say end of 80s, right until 2-3 years ago. We're talking about average almost 8-9%. That's almost like 25 years of continuous 8-9% growth. So your denominator, your base gets so big. So naturally, you do a calculation, right? You will slowly grow. Even though the same amount of money or even more money you put into the system to try to push growth, but your base becomes so big, your growth will naturally slow, right? The number will change. The change is going to slow down. But there are also things happening within the Chinese economy that contribute to the slower growth number. I'll split the answer into two parts. Firstly, because the structure of the Chinese economy has changed. Previously, let's say when you start to join the WTO and become part of the trade union or the stuff, manufacturing led growth for most of China, right? And then after, let's say maybe 2010 or 2011 onwards, services and consumption is the main sector that drive growth. Now, how these two different sectors drive growth is very different. Manufacturing is easy to look at and is more direct because one, let's say you manufacture, right? Let's say you manufacture toothbrush. Somebody come and tell you, I want 500 million toothbrush next year. So you just tell the fellow, you give me your order, I go to the bank, borrow money from the bank. So the bank benefit, give you loan, right? You make money from the loan to you, right? Then you buy land, buy machinery, hire people. So there is value added there immediately. You hire people got salary, so immediately spending go to the economy. Then you export. Then you go back to the bank, LC, etc., etc. Then you tell the forwarders, then you tell the shippers. So entire chain can be seen, boom, benefited. And you're not talking about the time when China is growing everywhere, every aspect. So everything just grows very fast, and 8-9-10% initially, right? So that after that, you reach a stage whereby the country or people become richer, demand for services increase, etc., etc. So services sector have to take off. And services is more to do with people and value-added things and efficiency. And it does not need that physical increase. Physical increase is actually investment, which is like manufacturing. I'll give you an example. You think of an ATM machine that you use now and an ATM machine that you used maybe 15 years ago. The difference in the type of things that you can do in the current ATM compared to the previous 10-15 years ago ATM is so different. So what it means is the level of efficiency is so high. But you do not actually need to increase the number of ATM. The same ATM actually can do what, let's say 10 ATMs can do the 15-year-old ATM. So you're talking about you do not have that. You may reduce the number of investment for physical thing, but your internal engine, your efficiency, your return that you get from capital is far higher. And the benefits that flow to economy will be different. All right. So to me, what is important is to make sure that the transition is smooth for China. The economic policies, slower growth is definitely happening, is in the lines. Maybe by 2022, growth will be below 6%, and by maybe 2030, growth will be at 5%. It's possible the trend is going. But the quality of growth, distribution of the growth, how it goes to benefit the rest of the people in the country, that's more important. Okay, I think policies are always ongoing because there's always continuous review by the Chinese. The short-term ones will be like your monetary policy. Right? You cut interest rate, raise interest rates, or you say I give short-term stimulus, or I change the property regulation, loosen here or tighten here, depending on the cycle. So there are adjustment, short-term adjustment, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years time. The big one will be those whereby you know that things you planned for your future, like let's say back in 1990 or 1995, let's say they did a review, then they know certain things are already happening post the last 10-15 years of high growth. Going forward, things will start to change. They need to think of policies that they need would be suitable for the next stage of growth. and to address the issues that come out of those growth. Like, for example, you know that low-cost, low-end manufacturing in China no longer is that efficient. You are no longer the thing that Chinese can produce cheaply anymore. So you need to think of the fact that you need to upgrade yourself, go into higher value added, etc., etc. All right. So how would you start to tilt your industrial policies that favors high-end industries like IT, artificial intelligence, or whatever? So that before that, all that happens, you already got to have to talk about how you promote people to able to do more R&D. How you acquire technology. So it's things that is ongoing. So before to allow the transition to happen, all right. And at the same time, you know that things are happening, and consumption become a more important part of economy. Then you think of how we want to support consumption, how we want to support some of those industries as well, because they're all hand in hand. So there's also the change in tax structure, the revamp of the tax codes. That's a long-term effect. Change of all those things. So there's all these things that have been put in place and constant review. And we have seen, of course, I think 2018, they actually have a major tax changes for value-added tax and some of that. And they're talking about over next 5 to 7 years, tax rates across will be lowered, right? And how those money will be reduced. Because if it's a tax on the corporate will have better cash flow. The moment you have better cash flow, you ask yourself what you want to do with the cash. Invest yourself to go into higher value added or whatever it is. And if you are a consumer, you are a worker, your monthly deduction become reduced. You have more money at disposal. Would you save those money or consume part of that money? So all this behavior, all these changes is where the policy changes is there, and anticipate once it happens. They observe the change in trend among the consumers and corporates, then they readjust going forward. Yeah. Okay, last 24 months, there were 4 things that so-called have been a concern to all investors. One is the trade dispute between US and China. The trade dispute was intensify the worry of a global recession or recession in the US, because unfortunately, because of past experience, every 10 years or something like that, there will be a recession. That intensify the worries of a major slowdown and all that stuff. Then there's a Brexit issue. Of course, and the fourth one will be the lack of corporate profits in the Asia-Pacific area compared to the rest of the world. Right? And as you screen down all these four factors, one, you know that on January 15, the US and the Chinese party is going to sign a trade deal. That's considered phase 1. There's also talks about they will start negotiating after that a phase 2. How will phase 2 look like? We don't know. What are the area of focus? Some people say it's technology and intellectual property protection. Perhaps, we don't know. When can it be signed? We're not sure. But we need January 15 to be over first, right? Then we need more announcement. But what you mean is, after signing of phase 1, all those worries of more tariff hike, all these things, suddenly calm down, right? Until you get more feedback on what phase 2 look like. Right? So generally, on the trade dispute side, there's a temporary truce. Right? Next will be the global slowdown, right? And that because of the trade dispute, a few things happen. One, because global growth already peaked somewhere in 16, 17, already slowing, right? And because of the trade dispute, a lot of businesses says, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to invest money. You know why? Because you don't know what's going to happen. Even though let's say you are doing well, your customer tell you they love your products, please, I want 10% more next year, but you'll be telling your customer, wait, things are unclear, give me a little bit time before I put money to work, invest, and give you the new supply, right? So but the moment corporates are affected this way, actually make things look bad. Actually, things are not so bad, but then nobody put further money in the system drop. The other thing is, there are 2 major sectors in the world that actually last 15, 18 months slow down. One is the global electronic and electrical cycle. Partly with technology transition, moving from 4G to 5G, all the stuff. Maybe there are a little bit lack of new products coming in, some new technologies coming in. So it was been slowing down. And you look at some Taiwanese tech company and you track those, and South Korean tech companies, the earnings profile actually very bad last couple of years. They totally capture all the slowdown. Right? But the good news is that slowdown in E&E have moderated, actually bottomed, and actually starting thinking of E&E, actually exports in Malaysia, E&E has had to pick up. So that tells you one drag on global manufacturing is no longer there, right? The other drag on the global economy is actually the global auto industries. Car sales last few years have been bad. Maybe because of lack of new model perhaps. Also the fact that there's a lot of new car technologies coming in. People want battery-driven, hybrid, etc., etc. So there's a lot of changes, uncertainty and all that stuff. So car sales also dropped last 15 months. The good news is the drop have leveled off. So two major sectors in the world, in the manufacturing world, have actually stopped being negative. They actually bottomed. So what it means is a lot of those big numbers that come up will stop becoming bad. You start to stabilize, and maybe even some marginal improvement because E&E has started to pick up a little bit. So that tells you. And those of you who track the global economy, there's the services part. Actually, global services are still growing, and the momentum is quite healthy. So that's why you still have the 2% global growth number that came out. So going forward into 2020 and 2021, what we have is E&E, electrical, electronic, have a marked recovery. How strong the recovery, we don't know. We see lots of new technology, new product that comes out. And when will the car or auto industry have a positive turnaround? We are still looking at the numbers, analyzing them, waiting for a positive change to happen. Right? But the good news is the downtrend is generally over on the manufacturing. And what it means is it flows up to the top level, the big number, global growth is also stop dropping, go flat. So that's where the situation is, and that's where we think, you believe things are cycle, right? We think if things are okay, nothing bad happen again, policies, geopolitics or whatever, then we could see a cyclical turnaround maybe by end of this year, early next year. Depends on how the world is. Because if there can be trade settlement, businesses put money to work, fulfill the new demand of client, new products come in. So we're talking about potentially a new up cycle. That has yet to be confirmed, but we are looking at that. But at this point, at least for the next 12 months, you know that there won't be any deterioration in the major global outlook compared to, let's say, in 18 and 19.